Down this side, because they can't get into the red ribbon. They can go that side.
They've changed their mind.
Well, before I go, I'd like to say, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know for a start, what scope there might be within this shed. I didn't know whether I would fit, but I was casting around all these grey tows and bald heads that I fit most definitely do fit. I thought by the time I got to this age, I'm trying hard to catch up with Jack Henry, but never will. I did wonder if there would be any more firsts in my life, apart from getting up this morning and saying, well, that's another day. And here is a first, this new movement, the men's shed, which is spreading around the country, and I'm glad to see there are sufficient ladies here who've got their visas all fixed to be here, because life would be damned awful without them. That's as simple as that, isn't it? So it's a great mix, it's a great thing for people to do, and funnily enough, my part of it is just about the best of all, because growing stuff in a polytunnel is something I've been doing for a very long time, and you've got a lot of challenges coming up, and we'll maybe talk about that as we go round about. But it's a great venture. It's a great community venture. I was up at the allotments in Mintlaw last year, a brand new set of allotments. I'm standing talking to two guys who lived in Mintlaw, one at that end of the street and one at that end of the street, and they'd never spoken to a word to each other. Yeah. And what brought them together? Gardening, and I love of gardening, and sharing the tips and the failures and all the rest of it. I've already been asked about these gigantic things in there, which just happen to be winter cabbages. One of the first things you'll realise is that things grow a wee bit faster when you give them some shelter. And they also go a wee bit too quick sometimes, and they shoot up because of the heat. We won't talk seagulls today, but the sooner somebody gets a catapult, the better. So there are things that can have to be managed within a polytunnel. The interesting one, and you'll have to keep an eye on all of this. You find that people with certain plants in the front garden that's got a street light outside, the plants react differently because they get longer days. So it'll be interesting to see if you guys are going to hit the record books with strange things, with picking lovely flowers in the middle of winter that shouldn't flower until the middle of summer or whatever. I'm joking. It's a great adventure. You're going to have strong rules about this, especially where there's a cooperative sort of feel to the whole thing, what you can and what you can't do. I was up at one in the northeast near Inverurie. It's called what's it called? Food for You or something like that, EWE, and it's a polytunnel, bigger. It's a squarer thing like that, and they had many allotments inside. And of course, the first thing is that they've got to control what comes in, not just folk and wains and dugs, but beasties and weeds and so on. And if somebody lets a plot go and it's absolutely lousy with greenfly, there has to be a way of dealing with that. Otherwise, things can get a wee bit awkward. But in this particular one, a crofter who was took this plot wanted to do something to keep him dry in the winter time. But the only thing was, could he bring his own croft farmyard manure in to incorporate it in his little 3 or 4 square yards? And the rule had to be no, because it could be lousy with couch grass and ground elder and goodness knows what else. I'm just really pointing out from experience, you will learn these things and make the rules first so that people understand them, and then there's less of a kerfuffle. So in fact, probably with Glengarry, I was probably responsible for putting up the biggest acreage of plastic at one time at Glengarry. Would you believe it, back in 1978, when the main tunnel was a ½ acre in size, 5 bays. And I was very fortunate at that time because there was a full staff there. There was about 30 people worked at the distillery. There were 4 shifts and a warehouse squad. So when I needed a squad of guys to resheet one bay, I could get one of the shifts that was coming off or going on. And what fun we had with a sheet that was 50 metres long and 11 metres wide up there. So that's something that you've got to face, and it's great fun. But take your time. But the best time to do it, you'll never ever see Davy, what's his name's boys along there putting polythene on top of the strawberries. Never in the normal hours, because they're there at 5 in the morning. Yeah. About the calmest part of the day. you can get it on. And it does help. I used to say to people who were putting up single ones, get it on, get it firmed, and then light a few burners or something inside and go on have a cup of tea. And the heat builds up, the polythene stretches, and you get it on dichter. So you'll mind that for the future. I think I'd better open this thing and let you get that. What's the scissors? Right.
Here you are.
Oh, we've got... This could be... Oh, I've got it inside.
The
Sorry for the pictures. I'm no guaranteeing that he's will cut it.
No, don't cut it.
I have an alternative. I had to hang it. That's better. Now very gently. There we go, chaps. 1, 2, 3. Who's in charge in the day? Should wear the bonnet. Right.
That's good.
Today.
A small token of our thanks today is a gift voucher for the Italian restaurant in Inverurie. Please enjoy.
Oh, somebody's been telling stories. Regular customers.
Best of ever seen it.
Nou, look, I say, was it about last week?
General report. Might not be reading it.
And outside the Polytunnel we have made a sort of small garden whereby we are growing potatoes, parsnips, brassicas, turnips, carrots, and really any excess produce we have will be given to the community to basically the community kitchen in Inverurie, so that other people can benefit from our efforts.
That's the Fly Cup.
No, not the Fly Cup.
No, is that a different one?
Yeah, this is the Geary Community Kitchen. So that's a sort of different one.
Okay.
And so they do cooking for other community groups as well.
Okay.
And eventually we may be able to sell some of the produce as well. In fact, we're going to sell some of the produce to men's shed members, just to make a bit of money.
Okay.
Because we're always looking for money.
Oh, obviously. So your brassicas, your tatties, etc. Here, you've got quite a nice netted off.
Yeah, that's
theoretically to protect your carrots.
That's
That's
right,
failing miserably.
Carrots and brassicas, the carrots are disaster, as you can see. Yeah, going well.
Yeah, they're going well. Well, you've got your bedding plants inside.
Yeah, well, all these bedding plants were donated from a business within the here.
Very good.
And the Polytunnel was opened by Jim McColl of Beachgrove.
I've heard of him.
I've heard of him, yeah. So it was opened by him in June.
He was 82 days ago.
He was 82 days ago. In fact, one of our members who's over 90 was at his birthday party.
Excellent.
Yeah. So this is
amazing. The change in temperature just by stepping through the door
it's
here.
bloody amazing.
Ah.
Yeah. So
You've got your tomatoes here.
with tomatoes, brassicas, we had a tremendous crop of sweet corn. They're obviously going to pass now. And
Still got one there.
yeah, and they will also got the
Brussels sprouts,
flowers, carrots,
Good rush.
raspberries, you name it.
I can offer you, just offhand, I can offer you about 20 tons of this stuff. You're welcome to come and get it.
That's where you see
Some research on the main shape, it did start.